When you go back and you looked at the scrimmage from Saturday, did you take anything away? What was your big first impressions?
I thought that we did a little bit of live work the Thursday before we left for spring break, and there was some dramatic improvement from an effort standpoint. You got some guys out there playing who haven't played significant minutes that were in some critical roles, and they have to understand it's one thing to watch other people play, and when you're put in that position and you have to make decisions and play football, there's a certain tempo and a speed you have to play with, and we actually made some strides from an effort standpoint, particularly defensively, from the first week of practice. So there were some good things. I think what we need to do is continue that effort, and then and look for some consistency out of our players who have been in those roles, and some consistent good play.
You talked last week about some of the guys that are having to step up and be leaders, but then you lose a couple of those guys for a little bit. Just Malcolm Kennedy and Mike Evans. How hard is it for mid practice to kind of adjust with those guys out?
That's what happens. I mean, it's football. And you want everybody to practice every day or play every game. It's just springtime. Y'all get to see the beginning now, and you can do your own injury report. We have guys miss practice all the time. So, it's how you manage those guys and the ability for them to keep into it mentally, and to come back and know the difference between pain and injury, and communicate with our staff. We got great rehabilitation staff, and we don't do things and put guys in a position where until they're ready to go. But I think the communication that we have with our training staff and our players and coaches has been excellent. Things like that are going to happen. We practice 7 through spring football, and we went 100 and some plays in a scrimmage without kicking. So that's quite a bit to get done in an hour and 15 minutes. So that the pace was pretty good Saturday. So that's particularly for a guy like Mike Evans, who was extremely involved, playing different positions. Took some shots and catching the ball in the teeth of the defense instead of being on the perimeter like he was all last year.
What can you tell us about the status of Evans and Carter?
Nothing. Anything else?
What kind of impact is Cameron Clear going to make on the running game?
Ask me in the fall. I'm serious. I mean, we've had 5. You know what? I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, we've had 5 padded practices. We've got 30 in the fall. We've got 8 more. He's got 38 practices before we play Rice. So I'll have a better idea in during 2 days. He just got here.
I understand. Is he the type of guy, just because of his size? I mean, we hear so much about how athletic he is. From what y'all seen of him, how much of a factor is he as blocking in the running game?
He's a factor in both, as a blocker and as a pass catcher. He's very athletic. He's 270. He might be a little. It's going to take him some time to get in real football shape. A guy like him who's just got here, has been at junior college, and, it's going to take him through the summer, a bigger body guy like that, to get into the type of shape that he wants to be in, because he starts off really well, and then, it's not his fault. And, that's why we do what we do in the off season for guys like him who try to catch him up. So, like I said, I'll have a better idea. We all have a better idea about him in fall camp. But the whole thing about spring ball is you've got 15 opportunities outside or as coaches to be with the players. That's it. And the meeting time and everything else, that's one thing. We've had meetings before that. But in actual practice and playing football, that's the only time you get. So there's a lot going on for these 7, 8 newcomer guys that are here, and we're installing daily. As soon as they figure out what they're supposed to do today, there's here comes coach with a whole new group of things for me to do tomorrow. And so that's hard on them, but repetitions make a difference, and looking at defensive fronts and having to change and do things. I mean, like I said, he's got a lot of tools, and we'll have a better idea in the fall where he's going to be in, because he just got here.
Since I wrote about it, I'll ask you about it. I described it as a heat of the moment kind of thing when Johnny shoved the G on the sideline after throwing the interception. Do you have any comment on that? I would ask you after the scrimmage if there's no availability then, but
because we had the
no, I know
youth
exactly.
experience.
I understand that, but I'm at this is.
I don't know what you see.
I saw the guy get in his face and Johnny shoved him. At that point, it happened right in front of us. So.
Well, that's. Be honest with you, I didn't see it. I heard about it, so.
Just part of the heat of the moment type stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know. People make a big deal out of stuff like that. Things happen all the time in football. And I don't think it's that big a story. It's about as big a story.
I'll tell you what.
It's about as big a story as Cliff Kingsbury wearing black all the time. That's what I think.
Or Johnny's Longhorn tattoo.
Yeah.
Well, the first story
it has nothing to do with what's going on right here.
But I will tell you, the first story that came out on it was Johnny had hit a coach. So then I said, you know what, I'm going to set the record straight here, and that's why I wrote
Well,
it
I
at that
appreciate
point.
it.
Well, I'm just saying that was my reaction to write it. So.
That's all I got.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, it happens, right? During
Yeah,
practice, we
I
just
don't know.
happen to.
No, we don't have coaches go around punching players and players punching coaches. If that's what you want. No, that doesn't happen all the time. But there's always going to be times in this game. Like I said, of all the things that happened Saturday, for some people that's the big story. That's too bad.
Anything else? What's the big story in your mind from Saturday?
We had one serious injury, and that was Travis Lampard broke his collar. See, there's something for you.
Thanks, Coach.